Hello, welcome to the Spooky and Weird with Sue St. Blaine. I am your host. This is Jasper. It's very, very cold in here today, and it's unpleasant. I can soldier on, but he can't. Anyway, so welcome. This is going to be another day when I tell a little story. I had so much fun with it last time. If you missed the last episode, you might want to give it a look. It's got an original story just right off the... Are you going to fall? I may leave that in because it's funny. Anyway, it has an original story that I wrote just for you guys. And a little blooper at the end, which is very funny, I think. I'm going to do another one, and hopefully you will enjoy it. I had a lot of fun writing it. These are just for you guys. These are exclusive they're not published anywhere. Literally, it's still on my laptop. I'm going to read it off of my laptop. It's not even printed out. So, very good. You guys are that special. So, before I do that, I want to tease something. I'm kind of excited. Next week, Friday, is what I'm shooting for. We're going to have a special guest, and I'm not going to tell you too much about it, except that in my first video, not the one that was 2 minutes long, but the first sort of real one, I spoke a little bit about the movie Skinnamarink. Yeah, I don't know. I have a mental block, and I talked about how I like movie basically. It's not a perfect movie, but it worked for me. Well, I talked a lot about that, and I mentioned in there. Okay, I guess I am going to tell you all of this. I mentioned in there that my husband hated it, and so he's wrong. But he's going to be here. Jasper will be taking a vacation. Someplace warm. I think he's going to the Bahamas. But Chris will be here, my husband Chris, and we will debate this movie. And that should be fun. That should be a lot of fun. You will probably hear us say to each other just horrible things, just like awful things. You know, we may do this, every now and then because it's funny. That's just how we communicate. And we've been together for 22 years, so I think it's working. But just in case you think, oh, Jesus Christ, they hate each other. Nah, not right that minute anyway. So now I guess I'm going to go ahead and read the story. I think I got a handle on how to put the pictures down because I did it last time, so I'm pretty sure I can do it again. And yeah, so enjoy this. This story doesn't have a title. I just realized that. Yeah, no, there's no title at all. I took another path on my evening walk to see what was up that tree-darkened road. It was late, but I felt a need to go. As the trees grew sparse, the outline of a farmhouse took form, a forgotten, oddly forlorn home, no longer full of laughter and love, a decrepit husk. Yet I felt compelled to explore. I still don't know why. It was a sad scene. It hurt my heart. I can't explain it. I ran my hand over the wreckage of a life, the strange way they lived, the mystery that I knew would never be solved. Nevertheless, I found myself taking the creaking, unreliable stairs up to the attic. It seemed to be charred and it smelled of smoke. I ran my hand down the oppressive beams and brought it to my eyes black with charcoal. Understand, even in the state of the main house, there was no sign of fire. I wiped my hand on my leg and walked into the pitch black. I see you raised an eyebrow. Why did I continue into this unfamiliar, fire-damaged space? I told you, I don't know. I just felt I had to. Then I heard the sound of raspy cries coming from the dark place under the eaves. My curiosity quickly overcame me and I crept towards a forgotten cradle. From the darkness, a small shape, charred and jagged, appeared and began to dart about me. It was in the crib, then in the corner, then above me, then at my feet. It seemed to blink itself from place to place. I could barely get a real look at it. For a moment it stopped, fading into the darkness. I froze in terror. I literally could not move from this spot. I heard raspy breaths, gasping breaths, a sound I will never forget. It perched on my shoulder, pushed against my ear, and screamed like the grind of a rusted gate opening from a long slumber. I swatted at the air and flailed about. No, I did not run. Stop looking at me. I'm telling you why. Then, by the wings of angels, morning broke, and a sunbeam shone through flame-ravaged beams. I could just make out the tiny form settled on the blanket, and it gave a sort of coo from deep inside the throat of a volcano, ancient rivers of molten rock roaring. Two gashes parted, the eyes of swirling magma fixed directly on me. I backed away, stumbled like a drunkard down the stairs, too hard for the ancient wood to bear my weight. I fell onto the rubbish below, righted myself, and ran into the waking day. My poor body took me as far as it could, but I stumbled and fell and curled into a ball on the dewy grass until they found me, gibbering like an idiot. That is my story, Doctor. I see you don't believe me, but if you go to that house, that cursed beast is inside. It must be stopped. Fine. Smirk. Just kindly wheel me back to my cell where I am safe. So I hope you enjoyed that nameless, exclusive story for just for you. Like a lot of things I write, there's some things that are real. The lava baby is not. There's no lava baby. But when Chris and I, my husband, you'll get used to him, Chris, when he and I were on a trip up north, up from the city, we went off the road and we found this, what appeared to be a sort of camp in the, I have no earthly idea when. It wasn't that old, I don't think, but the pictures, most of the pictures in this little story are from that little camp. And we called it the Forgotten Camp for Forsaken Orphans. We couldn't think of anything sadder than those words in a row. So that's what we called it. And of course, we poked around, and of course I looked at everything because I am me, and that's a thing that I do. While we were there, we found the pictures that I put up. Something very sad about it, something very forlorn, like this house. But no lava baby. I haven't. I would actually be kind of excited to see a lava baby because I never have, and I think they might be like scratchy obsidian skin aside. It might be kind of cool. I don't know. So that was a really exciting experience. I love stuff like that. I don't know if you guys have ever been able to get into a sort of deserted or derelict, whatever, building or, oh God, locomotive or some kind of a train car. One thing you should know about me, for some reason, I don't know why you should know this, but is I am a huge rail fan. I grew up around them. My dad was a huge rail fan. So there is, to me, a steam locomotive barreling down a quiet sort of forested road, lonely, and there is nothing spookier and more romantic to me than that. Someday I'll tell you about the museum. I'm not going to do that right now, and maybe I won't because I'm not sure it's really all that interesting to anybody but me, now that I think about it. But yeah, it's just a really sweet thing. How did I get to that? Why did I get to that? Oh, derelict things, yes. So any kind of derelict thing. Train cars, sort of hotels or old churches, any kind of thing like that, any kind of ruin, basically. When we moved in here, I don't know why I'm telling you this either, but I'm going to. We had a spooky attic room, and it's filled with attic room stuff now. You know, it's storage and goat leggings and tombstones and one of his friends. But when we moved in and it was empty, it was super spooky. I'm going to show you a picture of that too if I remember. I'm going to put that up because it's cool. And there was just a single like rose hanging from, not a real rose of course, but hanging upside down in there, red rose, and it was just so cool to me. I left it up there because it's just, I'm not going to take that down. That's really cool. And there was an old desk, a black, it was clearly a child's desk, and it was just sort of tucked away in a corner of this spooky attic room. And it had all these glow-in-the-dark stars in a drawer. And I thought that was fabulously creepy. Why were the stars didn't have like stick on them, like they hadn't been stuck somewhere and then taken down when they moved the desk or something. They were just random sized glow-in-the-dark stars sort of in the second drawer. Is that right? Doesn't matter. In the drawer of this desk. Just seemed like, why was this? I mean, okay, honestly, the child that used to sit in it outgrew it, obviously, or they left it, they didn't want to move it or something like that. That's what happened, I'm sure. But that's not fun. What's fun is that maybe it was a bad memory of a the deceased child is not fun. I'm going for spooky here. There's nothing fun about deceased children at all. Caveat. But, you know, so they've moved that desk in there with the stars because they can't bear to look at them. And the child is upset that the desk is in there and they don't understand why you took it out of the... But you know what's cool is my office. Okay, you're going to learn something else about me right now, and I may lose all of my goth cred. I am a huge Hello Kitty fan. Huge! The room I write in, 3 of the 4 walls are covered in Hello Kitty. So that's a thing that you know about me now. So, where was I going? Oh, I took that desk and I put it into my kitty room, my writing room, because it's black and it matches all the black shelves. You do not care about any of that, so I'm going to just not do that. But I think that my room, my office, was the little girl's room. And one of the things that's really awesome in there is that every now and then, not all the time, but every now and then you could get a strong smell of what is pretty clearly a child's perfume. It just wafts up. It's not even unpleasant, really, right? He doesn't find it unpleasant at all, and he's very sensitive to scents. But no, it's not really unpleasant. So every now and then that wafts in, and it doesn't always, and I think that's just unspeakably cool. And I'm wondering if, you know what, okay, I'm going to sidetrack myself again. I'm wondering if bringing that desk in there, if in the spooky story, I don't believe in any of this. I'm sorry. I love spooky, but I don't believe in ghosts. But for the spooky story, what if then someone moves in and moves that desk into that room? It's cold in here. Sorry. It is frequently cold in this room. And somebody on my Facebook page, on my author page, joked with me on one of my videos about, you know, and no, I don't do cocaine. I promise. It's cold in here. That's why my nose gets snuffly. Anyway, where was I? Desk. Hello, spooky people. What was I saying? I don't remember. You know why? Because after I said the last thing I said, which I believe was, oh, desk, my battery died in my camera and I didn't know. So that's awesome. That's fun. But I'm on my phone right now, so it's going to be a different quality, or I don't know. If it looks different, I think the lights are different and whatever. I don't know, but at least I can finish up talking to you. And I'm not at all about to kick a hole in the wall. Probably not. I make no guarantees. But it's all good. I got most of it. So I think the last thing I said was desk. Talking about the spooky desk and the perfume, and I outed myself as both a Rail fan and a Hello Kitty fan. I think the Hello Kitty might be the death knell, except for the fact that I like ABBA. Totally getting kicked out now. Screw you, ABBA's awesome. So I have completely lost my train of thought, truly, truly, well and truly. So I don't remember if, I don't think I had mentioned again my Facebook page, Hello Spooky People, Facebook/Hello Spooky People. That's where my one reader was giving me crap about maybe I do cocaine, and he was only kidding, and no, I don't. If I could afford cocaine, I could have somebody do these fucking videos for me, and that would be great. So no, it's cold in here. So yeah, disappointed because I had a lot of stuff in there for you, and I don't use a script. That is probably really obvious, but I don't like, and I would never be able to use a script. And even if I had one, I'd go. So I probably told you that already. I don't know because I don't use a script. So a lot of what I had said is just gone, and that makes me very sad. I mean, not overly, but you know, Jasper's despondent because I think I mentioned him like 3 or 4 more times. Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. I think I said everything I wanted to say and more. So, damn, I said a bunch about the story. I don't remember. My world is pain. So yeah, I don't remember what I said, and I don't really remember. I talked about Chris in the first part, I think, about having a special guest. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did that in the beginning. But the story's there, the bulk of the stuff is there, and I just kind of ramble anyway, so no matter. Um, if you would please, oh, I know one thing that got lost. If you would be so kind as to subscribe to my channel. I don't know where the subscribe button is because I don't have a handle on that quite yet. Wherever it is, if you could click that and click like if you enjoyed the video. I hope you did, and now you see me in pretty much the dark. I could have adjusted the lights, but fuck it, I'm really disgusted, so I don't want to. We'll have a lot of fun, and we'll try to get the technical difficulties squared away, and I hope it'll get a little bit warmer in here because it is so fucking cold. Also, if you would like to read my books, you can go to SueSt.Blaine.com, and on the tab books, you'll find my 2 horror as a novella and a short stories, which are, I'm so discombobulated. Last Text is the novella. Frozen Shadows is the, oh shit, he's gonna fall. Screw it, I'm not taking this out. I don't do cocaine, but Anywho, those 2 are horror. I have another book on there, Life Songs, which is not horror. It's not fiction at all. And that scared the shit out of me. Sorry. Yes, no, it is not fiction. I'm not going to cut that because that was really funny. Apologize again for what is probably a very dark situation here, and probably the sound is really weird or whatever, but I wanted to say goodbye properly and not just. So I will see you next time. Bye, spooky people.